good folks? Welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Bernicia, and I am here with another recap for you guys today. So today we're going to be talking about part 1 for the Baddies Midwest reunion. Alright? So let me just say this, y'all. This part 1 was way better than I expected it to be, okay? I know Zeus was going to break this reunion down into 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6 parts, y'all. But this first part definitely gave a little something, okay? And it leaves me with high hopes for part 2. But without further ado, before we get into it, if you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button. While you at it, go ahead and hit that like bell, hit the notification button, hit all that good shit. And don't forget to pop your shit in the comment section. So let's start, alright? So, of course, the host for the Baddies Midwest reunion is Janisha John, Saucy Santana, and Bobby Lyons. So, okay, so we noticed like lately these three has been what it was or what it is for the reunions, okay? So Saucy is basically co-hosting on the stage with Janisha, and Bobby is crowd control. And speaking of crowd control, let me just talk about this setup, okay? From the way that the episode started to the rollout, when we get to see the stage, we get to see the audience and things like that. This is definitely way up there, okay? Zeus is doing their big one, and they're not leaving no crumbs behind for the little guy, okay? So when the episode first starts, you see like a montage of all the cities that they've been to. You hear Natalie's voice in the background kind of narrating the season. And it was so epic, okay? I really love the rollout, the stage presence, the audience, which, by the way, the audience was real fucking lit, okay? Even Natalie did a performance before the reunion got started, okay? And I want to get into her performance real quick before I get into anything else. So Natalie had this, I see people online were saying like, oh, you know, Natalie is like giving cabaret. She took a bite out of Jocelyn's whole thing, because you know Jocelyn does her performances before the reunions and things like that. Yes, she definitely was influenced by Jocelyn, but at the same time, I kind of like it though. One thing about Natalie that I noticed, this bitch will copy and paste and steal somebody's swagger. She's a swagger jacking ass bitch. And she will do what she got to do to improve herself. Okay, if she got to steal a bitch words, they look, the way they do things, she will definitely do what she got to do to improve herself. And I don't even know if I'm mad at that, okay? Even though her performance, when she did her performance, there was this guy that came up and was twerking to her song. Now, he had more stage presence than Natalie did, but I'm pretty sure that over time, she would figure out how to get her, you know, her stage presence up. She was doing better than Judge and Alexis, I'll tell you that, okay? And for what it's worth, I'm really happy for my girl, because, hey, her song was lit. Her song went #1, you know, so it is what it is. I don't blame her for coming out there performing. All right, so now let me get into the looks, okay? Because we get to see the girls coming in. Now, for the most part, the girls had a different look in their intro walk-in versus what they wore on the stage, okay? So I want to kind of get into the intro looks, all right? Well, the best looking. I'm not going to talk about everybody, okay? Because we see all the girls came back, but everybody's look wasn't what it was for me, okay? For me, the best looks for me was Jayla, DTB, Rolly, Pretty P, Scotty, Biggie, Natalie, and Ivory. When they walked in, their intro looks was given, okay? And Natalie body, have y'all noticed that bitch is slimming the fuck down? Like, that bitch now, she's giving Barbie. She's most definitely giving Barbie. I love this slim Natalie, but what I hope doesn't happen is that this bitch starts to lose so much weight she starts to disappear, okay? Because we already know how they get when they be on that coke and that Ozempic, allegedly. That shit is no we lose weight to this point and stop. No, that shit continues, and then you go to looking like a crackhead, okay? But right now she's looking, you know, fine and trim, and she all that. And when she came in her little sexy stripper outfit, she was giving booty and body, okay? Definitely look good. But for me, the worst looks was then Yeah, the worst looks. Okay. Lex looked crazy to me. She came in with this boxing outfit. Now this looked like she went to a costume store and bought a WWE outfit that was too big for her. She came in there with these gloves, this bra that looked like it was too big. It was a lot going on. And the braids. No, like we get it, you coming to fight, but bitch, you could have still like made it a little sexy, or at least came in looking kind of cute. Speaking of, I meant to add Summer for the best looks. Now, I didn't like that watermelon outfit that she had on, but to me, this is the cutest I've seen Summer look. Like, her hair was really nice. Her makeup was done. She was being a wild-ass banshee. Of course, like, from the minute the camera set sights on her, the bitches, she was doing a bit much, okay, in her intro. But she did look real nice, and that caught my attention before anything, okay? So, I'm going to add her to the best looks. Who else was on my worst? Now, back to the worst looks. Who was the worst? Slim, okay? Slim walked in that bitch looking like a character from the fucking Matrix, okay? She had her braids brought back, and I won't say, I didn't put her on the worst list because I just thought that she, you know what I'm saying, looked horrible. I don't think she looked horrible or nothing like that, but it definitely gave Matrix, okay? And it wasn't an outfit that particularly stood out to me, so yeah, that's that. Alright, so anyway, after the girls come in and you see kind of like the intro, you see them walking in or whatever, whoop de boop. You see like the girls in the back in the dressing rooms, okay? So they had these different rooms and they were kind of like flashing around with the rooms with the girls having conversations and talking. And so we had Rolly and the Rat Pack was in the room together. So the Rat Pack, if y'all have been watching my recaps, my show, my channel, whatever, you know that I refer to not Diamond, but Dolly, Big Lex, and Summer as the Rat Pack.
Ooh, shitty booty special. Your loose booty ass is out of order.
Okay, so we had all three of them in the room with Rolly. Ivory, Pretty Pete, and Jazz was in a room together. Scotty, Biggie, Taseki, and Anna was in a room together. Then we had another room with Jayla, Tinka, Nunu, Jaden, and DTB. Okay? Let's get into it. Now, I want to talk about the room with Scotty, Biggie, Taseki, and Anna. Okay? So, they was talking about the whole beef between Rolly and Scotty. You know, for those of you who don't know, Rolly and Scotty been going back and forth online because the whole Gretch situation. I mean, the whole Slim situation. So, y'all remember in that scene when Rolly beat up Slim and then Summer ended up coming out and popping Slim. Well, anywho, Scotty came out with Rolly on that scene, right? Now, according to Rolly, Scotty wasn't supposed to come out and she wasn't supposed to be in that scene, but she inserted herself in the scene, okay? And so when the fans saw the episode and Scotty started getting the backlash right along with Rolly for the whole bully and Slim situation, Rolly feels like Scotty threw her under the bus, right? Because it's like, you already got like everybody coming at me, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just say I'm Rolly. If everybody coming at me online and they already like, you know what I'm saying, just killing me, tarnishing my character and all the works, right? But then my friend turns around and throws me under the bus. Like, why throw icing on the cake and throw me under the bus right along with him? You know what I'm saying? By Scotty getting on there saying like, you know, I should have held Rolly back and told Slim to run and all this and the third. It's like you basically saying like you thought I was wrong too. But
that's stupid.
Then on the other hand, I understand Scotty too, because it's just like, okay, well, you know, Scotty isn't really known to, she doesn't have that reputation for being a bully and things like that. And so to a certain extent, she have to appease her fans as well and let them know, like, you know, acknowledge her wrongdoing in the situation, which is what I feel like she was doing. But in the process of her doing that, it's kind of like she was throwing Rolly under the bus. So it's a weird situation, but I'm kind of halfway when it comes to both. I'm half and half when it comes to that situation with the both of them. Okay, and so Biggie asks asked Scotty like, why you didn't say anything? Like, why didn't you say something at the time? Or whatever, whoop de whoop. And so, Scotty just basically says that she was trying to have her friend back in the moment or whatever, whoop de whoop. And so then Biggie also asked Scotty what she gonna do if somebody run up on her. And I was thinking to myself, like, Biggie, you got the audacity to be asking somebody what they gonna do. Bitch, what you gonna do? Okay? Like, what you gonna do? Because from what I heard, that you bitch, listen, we'll get to Biggie. We'll talk about her when it's time to talk about her. And y'all know what I mean, because y'all been hearing the rumors too about how Biggie sat there and let Anna got jumped. So we gonna save my Biggie commentary for when we see what the fuck went down, okay? So, but one thing I agree with in this whole conversation is what Anna said. Anna said, as far as the Sim situation, she was like, you know what you signed up for. Now, I don't agree with her making a slave comment, because assistant and slave is two different fucking things, okay? One get paid, the other doesn't. One has a contractual obligation. The other one doesn't, and you can do what the fuck you want to do to that person, okay? But a slave and an assistant is two different things, okay? And Slim didn't sign up to be a fucking slave, all right? And for what it's worth, I don't think that she should have signed up to be an assistant too, because she had to know the bullshit that was going to come with that, which is what I feel like on the mint. Like, you already know that Rolly don't like you, so you signing up to be her assistant, you already know that this shit wasn't going to be a good time, okay? So I do kind of get where she was coming from, but I think she used the wrong words, all right? So anyway, in the next room you had Jayla, Tinka, Nunu, Jaden, and DTB. Now, Nunu is a fucking key. This is one of the reasons why she's starting to warm up on me, because I'm not gonna lie, initially I didn't really care for Nunu, but I ain't gonna lie, she is starting to definitely I'm slowly becoming a stan for Nunu, okay? So Nunu decided to start some drama between Tinka and Jayla. So them two obviously had some back and forth online. We seen the clip that went viral a few months ago where Tinka was going off on Jayla. Apparently, something that Tinka told Jayla in confidence. Jayla went back and repeated what was said to Akbar. Now, the thing that annoys me about that whole situation is like, bitch, y'all mad. Y'all sitting up here arguing about somebody going back saying this to that person, but y'all not talking about what was said and what was the topic of conversation. Like, there's no insight as to what really happened. So
I didn't hear that.
Just like, bitch, we don't really care. Like, if y'all not gonna talk about what really happened, then we don't really give a fuck. Because at this point that he say, she say shit is so high school, okay? And if it wasn't deeper than, if it wasn't anything deep, then what the fuck is y'all arguing about, okay? So anyway, people found that little back and forth between them two funny, because I did see it in the comments that people found that back and forth between Tinka and Jayla funny, and it was because Jayla was reading the shit out of Tinka. But at the end of the day, I still think the whole argument was stupid, and I do not find Tinka entertaining. I'm sorry, to me, Tinka is corny, okay? But what was funny though is when they was arguing, Jaden, Alexis, and DTB was dying fucking laughing, and the scene you catch DTB like she was dying laughing, but when Jayla was like, "This is not funny," it's not funny, or Tinka, one of them was like, "It's not funny," DTB was like, "Oh." Now, DTB, that bitch is funny, okay? She's definitely funny, all right? So, anywho, now we switch to the next room. You got, oh, well, fuck it. Yeah. Let me get to, the room with the Rat Pack, okay? So, you got the Rat Pack, which is y'all should already know who the Rat Pack is at this point, but let me reiterate one more time, okay? The Rat Pack is Summer, Dolly, and Big Lex, okay? So Rolly's in the room with them. She brings in this really cute little dog. I forget what they call them dogs, but it's really cute. And she was like, let me introduce y'all to the new cutest dog on Baddies or whatever. And don't get me wrong, that dog is definitely the cutest dog, because between Capri and what the fuck on the dog name was, I don't fucking know, but that dog, Rolly's dog, definitely was cute, like a little mini teddy bear or whatever. So anyway, Rolly apologized to Summer for the altercation that they got into at the auditions. Okay, she just felt like she mishandled Summer. She should have gave Summer a little bit more grace because she is new to this or whatever. Whoop de whoop. But at the same time, it's like, how much grace is you gonna give fucking Summer? Summer needs, at some point, Summer needs to know, like, bitch, it's a time and a place for everything. Okay, and Summer was wrong. So I don't think Rolly should have apologized for that. If anybody should apologize, it should have been Summer. Even though Summer did apologize to Rolly for how she behaved. And you can tell that Rolly's relationship with the newbies is really good. I do like the fact that she is cool with the newbies, because it's like, wow, the other OGs wasn't really giving them a chance and wasn't really taking the time out to get to know the girls. Rolly definitely showed concern and care for these girls and showed these girls some attention. And I can appreciate that about Rolly. Say what you want, but she's real when she needs to be. Okay? So anyway, Summer dumbass asked Rolly was her dog there to beat Capri's ass, which is Scotty's dog. And I'm thinking to myself, like, shit, Rolly dog look like that bitch ain't want to do shit but eat and sit there and watch the drama. That dog literally is made for baddies. Because when I tell you I ain't hear that motherfucker bark not one time, even when Emma ended up coming in the room and all that fighting broke out, the dog ain't barked not one motherfucking time. That bitch just sat there turning his head, following the conversation. I see you, little doggy. I see you. So anywho, while they're talking, Emma ends up coming in. Okay, so now this whole Emma thing. Baddies Midwest was so motherfucking long, and that beef and drama between Emma and Bad Dolly them was like in the beginning of the season. So I had to kind of think a little bit about what the fuck the problem was. But apparently when Emma left the show, Bad Dolly and some of them apparently had some bullshit to say about her, and which Emma found out via Pretty Pete. So that's where all that drama started off. Like, they started talking shit about the girl when she left the show or whatever. So they had been beefing back and forth online or whatever. So the shit came to a head. Anywho, when we heard that Emma was jumped, right? Because we did hear about Emma being jumped some time ago. I thought that it was an ambush type situation. That Zeus kind of like put this girl in a room with them two banshees and let them banshees just beat her up and didn't get a girl no heads up for nothing. But watching the scene, you see Emma come in, and it was real quick when she told Dolly, she clapped her hands, was like, Dolly, come on. But Summer ended up jumping up first. Now, this is the thing. Emma, you was almost jumped by Summer and Dolly the first time. When y'all got into it in the kitchen, if it wasn't for Ivory, the bitches would have jumped you then. Okay? So I don't know why she thought, when she walking in the room and you see Summer and Dolly and Lex in the room, and you know that them hoes like to jump. When you walked in that room, why you didn't turn around? Or why you didn't just tell Dolly to come out the room or something like that? Like, why even walk yourself into that ambush? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure she probably wasn't thinking, because she was probably, had the excitement and the jitters because the fact that she knew she was going to have to fight. But at the end of the day, it's like, bitch, you wasn't ambushed when you walked in, and you had enough time to see that all them bitches was in there. You could have made a U-turn, okay? I don't see how she didn't keep her head on a swivel when it came to that one. But anywho, Summer jumps up and run at fucking Emma, and it looked like Emma was finna handle her. But then Dolly grabbed that bitch by the back of her head and went a boop, 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 boop. I was like, God damn, Dolly. And here's the thing. Dolly had on that gray short set, and if I'm not mistaken, y'all, please tell me in the comment section, because I could have sworn that Dolly wore that same short set to the Baddies auditions, Baddies Midwest auditions, okay? And that must be her ass whooping outfit. Like, that's the outfit that she put on when she ready to whoop some ass, must be, because that's the same Dolly. The Dolly that beat up Emma is the Dolly that I remember from auditions. We didn't get to see her all season, but that was the audition Dolly right there in that same outfit. I kid you not, that looked like the same outfit. I might be wrong, but y'all let me know in the comments. Speaking of same outfit, Saucy Santana in that fucking dress, like, he wore that dress last reunion, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know what? I'm not even gonna judge, bitch, because I repeat outfits too. I ain't got it like that to be changing outfits. But damn, like, this is a whole new season, and It is a show, so you know, bitches usually go shopping when they go to the club. I'm just saying, like you going on a show, you should have went shopping and got another outfit. I'm just saying, whatever. It ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal. So anywho, Emma gets her ass beat. And you see Big Lex trying to break up the fight. Poor Big Lex, because it's like she kind of caught up in the middle of all that bullshit. I wonder when she gonna get tired of hanging out with the Rat Pack. Because at this point, the places that Big Lex trying to clout chase her way to, she ain't gonna get there hanging out with the Rat Pack. I'm just saying. But anyway, Big Lex tries to break up the fight or whatever, whoop to whoop. And so her and Rolly and Yoshi, they kind of follow Emma to the bathroom. Emma's nose is leaking. You just see blood. It's terrible. Her face knotted up. Poor girl just got beat the fuck up. And she handled it a lot better than I thought. I would have been in that bitch raging like Ivory. I don't know. I would have been in that bitch going fucking bananas, bitch. These hoes jumped me. Y'all would have had to get to me. But I don't know. I think Dolly knocked the fight out of Emma. She had to, because she knocked that bitch nose clean bloody, okay? But, yeah, child. Before I move on, though, because I want to talk about, Natalie, Saucy Santana and Janisha, they little, trailer sit down talk. I want to talk about that, too, but before I talk about that, I want to go back to the room with Ivory, Pretty P, and Jasmine, okay? They wasn't really talking about much. Ivory was basically saying that she was ready for whoever, because, she's expecting to have a couple of fights. But what irritated me about this whole conversation was Jazz bringing up Summer. Now, I get it that Summer has been a fucking terror.
Nigga, you gotta go. The fuck is wrong with you?
Towards Jazz for majority of the season, okay? But I feel like Jazz, the way that Jazz started coming for Summer towards the end and kind of like taking the reins in the situation and like coming for Summer instead of Summer always coming for her, it was funny during the season, but it's like afterwards, Jasmine got on the internet and kept some of this. My whole thing is you giving this bitch way too much credit and way too much time in your brain, okay? We get it that Summer's a fucking batshit diabolical ass bitch, but at the end of the day, it's like, don't get that bitch more clout than she already have, okay? The fact that you keep saying her name is coming off a little, you know what I'm saying? It's coming off a little crazy, and Jazz, you way too classy for that. Like, I wouldn't give that bitch the time, the attention, the day, the thought. Okay, we all know that you and Summer are on two different degrees and levels of life. Okay, so there's no reason for you to let Summer get under your skin like that. That bitch gonna be clout chasing and clown and do whatever the fuck she gotta do to come up. But you, Jazz, you should be comfortable enough in your skin to where Summer doesn't bother you like that. Okay, especially since you waited to the last minute to kind of get with Summer. If you was gonna be on Summer's ass like the way you are now, you should have been doing that shit the whole season instead of letting her fuck with you first. I would have been on Summer ass like white on rice. Matter of fact, had she brought that same energy to Summer during the season, then perhaps we would have seen her again on Baddies Africa. I'm just saying, you could have, just like Summer used the opportunity to make a name for herself by fucking with you, you should have did the same thing back to her ass on the show. But to talk about it right now at this point is redundant, okay? And besides, I wasn't really feeling that outfit that Jazz was wearing too, because it kind of gave me, she kind of looked like a streetwalker. I'm just saying. And I don't see Jazz, some of her outfits be off the chain. You know what I'm saying? I don't see her step. But for me, I wasn't really feeling her get up. I don't know. It just gave me streetwalker. Maybe it was the coat. I don't know. She looked good though, but for Jazz and the nice, classy, clean cut that I usually see her wear, this right here wasn't cut it for me. All right, so moving on. All right, so we get to see Janisha and Saucy. Okay, so Janisha joins Saucy in the dressing room, and they pretty much talk about the things that they want to hit on when they get on stage. Okay, and so here's the consensus from that conversations. The newbies carried the season. Okay, size don't matter. No injured reserve. All right, and no one's bigger than the program. Okay, so this just lets us know where the judges are kind of, not the judges, but the hosts are kind of going for this reunion. They're not taking no motherfucking, they're whooping ass and taking names later, okay? So so then we get to see Natalie. She goes in the room. She goes in the dressing room with Mel. Okay. Now, I didn't do the intro for all the girls, just certain ones that stood out, but I did see Mel. Okay, and the way that Mel was dressed, it didn't look like the bitch came to do anything. Okay, at first when I first saw Mel, in the outfit, because the bitch still had her bonnet on, I was thinking like, okay, well, maybe she's just trying to come prepared this time, because the last time we saw Mel walk in on the scene, Ivory beat her ass. Okay, talking about Hawaii, right? So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe that's why she dressed like that. Like she don't want to come cute because she finna just get with it, right? But then you see Natalie coming in the room, and you can tell that Mel's upset, and Natalie's, they send Natalie fake ass in there to calm the girls down. So Natalie's basically trying to convince Mel to stay and finish the reunion. But at this point, Mel is feeling some kind of way. She's feeling like she's not safe. She's saying that she has just a lot of beefs, a lot of fades with the girls, and she don't feel like she's getting paid enough to run all those fades. Now, here's my whole thing with this situation. I feel like Mel, first of all, you were flown to the location to do the reunion, right? You had plenty of time to think about the fact that you had to fight all these different bitches, because you knew that these girls was going to have smoke with you when you got on the internet popping your shit. You already knew what time it was going to be from the jump. So the fact that you got on the plane, traveled all the way from the airport to whatever location that they were at for the filming, you went through all of that just to say that you didn't want to stay. Now you worried about all the phase that you're going to have to run. You worried about people jumping you. You feeling set up. But why you didn't have all these thoughts before you brought yourself all the way to this environment? Like, why didn't the bells and the light bulbs go off then? Okay? That's one thing. And I see that in a conversation where some people were saying like, okay, well, she just came to show because she knew showing up she would get her check. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but I still feel like, damn, you went out looking crazy on Hawaii. This was your opportunity to redeem yourself. I would have had more respect for her if she would have just stayed. Even if the bitches would have jumped her, she would have still came out on top anyway if she would have stayed and stood in the paint. I would have had way more respect for her. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that she just was like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Why even bring your ass there? And you already knew what time it was. Like, I don't sympathize with that. And I don't feel like it was smart. People like, oh, it's smart. She removed herself from the situation because she didn't want to be jumped. It was smart. Bitch, what would have been smart was not showing up, period. Because why do we have to see you on camera come there and punk the fuck out? Like, why do we have to see that? You could have stayed your ass the fuck home. Like, I'm just saying. I don't like the way she going out like this. Like, I really expected more from this girl, especially since they hyped her up so much about, I seen people online like hyping this girl up. They really wanted her on the show, but everybody is not a personality. This bitch, obviously, when she's sober, she has no personality, because that male that I seen in that room with fucking Natalie was not the same male that was on live. Bitch. And for Ivory to have been as disrespectful as she was, throwing piss on a bitch, girl, I would have had to fight you hell or high water. It would have been, I'm about to say, bitch, that would have been a free fight. Zeus ain't got to pay me extra to fight a bitch that threw piss on me. I would have fight you all the motherfucking time, bitch. I would wake up and go to sleep fighting your ass. Like, bitch, it is what it is. So, I don't know. I don't sympathize for that situation. And when she started snapping at Natalie, that's when I feel like, because Natalie ended up going on the stage throwing shade towards Mel, and I feel like that's what did it, because at first it seemed like Natalie was being a little bit more sympathetic to her, but it's just like, okay, well, bitch, now you snapping at me, bitch. Now you got yourself fucked up, because you ain't gonna come to Baddies Africa. You already showing me that you can't hang with the program, so you ain't coming to Baddies Africa. Then she started snapping and shit on Natalie. I'm like, okay, well, bitch, Ivory is your problem. Like, Ivory was out there in the parking lot, and I guess when they came out the room and was going downstairs to the car, Ivory was downstairs at the foot of the stairs waiting on her. And so she definitely felt set up. But at the end of the day, like I said, when you got on that plane, or you traveled to the airport to get on the plane to go to whatever destination that Zeus was taking you, you had plenty of time to think about your decision. You had time to reconsider that. The fact that you let them get you on camera and catch you having these second thoughts and shit, it just makes you look weird. It makes you look pussy. Okay? You ain't gonna be able to live that one down, sis. That's all I'm saying. So anywho, we finally get to the fucking stage. You see Janisha comes out. She comes out in this little glittery outfit looking like a fine ass chandelier. And so she does her little intro. Her and Bobby up there, you know, doing the intros, getting the crowd hyped and lit. And like, you know, I'm loving this rollout. I'm loving this rollout. Saucy comes out to join Janisha on the stage. Like I told y'all, he was wearing that same dress last reunion, child. Or maybe the motherfucker got a twin set of dresses. I don't fucking know. Oh, and somebody should have told him to rub all that body oil on him, because he came out looking ashy and oily at the same damn time. How do you accomplish that? Like, looking ashy and oily at the same time. Like, his thigh was ashy, but his arm had oil that had clearly he didn't rub the shit in. They should have helped him out a little bit before he got out there. But anywho, when he gets out there, he pops his shit. He says that he want to see Anna get her ass beat, basically. He was like, size don't matter. So he want to see Lex versus Anna. And he said he'll settle for a Tasiki versus Lex, because, you know, Tasiki like to jump in and save Anna. So he said he'll settle for a Tasiki versus Lex. Now, I'm not going to lie. I agree with that. I think that would have been a good fight, because for what it's worth, Lex can fight. And I'm really curious to know if she can hang with Tasiki. That's all I'm saying. Hell, she whooped Ivory ass a couple of times, so I just want to know if she can hang with Tasiki too. So anyway, he goes on to say that his favorite for the season was Summer. His least favorite was Tinka. And I got to concur with that, okay? I do think Summer is annoying and aggravating and dirt buckety as she is. She definitely kept this season going. And if it wasn't for her, a lot of this season would be lame as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. It was summer. Okay? And Tinka definitely didn't give much of anything. Hell, I caught her sleeping one too many times this season. But of course, we come to find out later that she's pregnant. So the bitch was pregnant the whole season, obviously. Okay? So anywho, they bring out Natalie. Now this outfit that Natalie has when she comes out, she looks real cute and comfortable. I love that Hello Kitty get up that she got on, and she had her Bottega titties on. She says she's ready for anything. Hold that thought, Natalie. Next, Scotty comes out. Oh, before I get to Scotty. So when Natalie comes out, she tells everybody that she just caught Mel running. Mel was running from Ivory in the parking lot. Child, the crowd was like, ooh. Natalie's so fucking shady, boy. And when Mel watched this reunion, that bitch is gonna be, she gonna go on another one of them crazy rants like she did before. Because bitch, if Barris was a person, it would be Mel. Okay. So anywho, Scotty comes out. She looked cute in her little red outfit or whatever. It still don't look better than her intro outfit though. Her intro outfit, now I like that intro outfit, and it went better with her hair. But anywho, she comes out. Janisha calls out Scotty, and you know, she says Scotty with the body this time. You could tell, like, the look on her face that she didn't want to say it, child, but she did. And Scotty comes out, gives Saucy Santana a hug, acknowledges everybody else on the stage except for fucking Janisha, okay? So then they bring out Diamond, okay? Now when Diamond comes out, Diamond look T. Boy, when I tell you Diamond look good, this is probably the best I've seen Diamond look so far. Like, she came out looking like a diamond, bitch. With her silver on, that hoe look good. And she pissed me off. She pissed me off, okay? And I know this might be an unpopular opinion because some of y'all lived for what she did, but it pissed me off. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? So Diamond goes over and she greets everybody. She gives Natalie a hug, right? And from Natalie's end, you can tell that the hug was genuine. Natalie gave her a little ass pat and everything. Natalie was genuinely happy to see Diamond. However, after Diamond hugged her, Diamond slapped the cow shit out of Natalie's ass. It was funny, but only for a split second, because it was just like, damn. Like, prior to Diamond getting on the show, Saucy was already saying like how when Natalie came out on the stage, she was saying like how, you know, if anybody put hands on Natalie, that the girls needed to step for Natalie or whatever. And then you had some of the girls from the audience was like, yeah, they'll step for woo to woo. He was just saying like, you know, she the EP, nobody need to be putting hands on her. She can't be touched, right? And so when Diamond comes out and slap her like that, Saucy was like, y'all need to let Natalie get her. Y'all need to let Natalie get her. And I was mad too, because for one, Diamond looked too damn good to like. I would have loved to see her on the stage a little longer before she gets to fight and snatches off her wigs and all of the other things. We didn't even get to enjoy her look. I was more mad because she fucked up her look. Like, bitch, you look good, and then you come out here and what could have been a good moment for you come out and you ruin it and get kicked off the stage like instantly because you want to come out and pull some clout chasing ass shit. And another reason why I didn't like it, besides the fact that I felt like Diamond looked too good to be sitting up there fighting, is when they went, because after this situation happened, right, after Diamond slapped Natalie, the security allowed them to get like a few seconds in, and I had to watch it a few times to get a clear look, because at first it looked like Natalie was kind of getting Diamond a little bit. But when I watched it again, you could see from overhead, the overhead shot, that Diamond was binking. Like, she was hitting Natalie all on top of her head, beating her damn head in. So Diamond definitely whooped Natalie's ass, okay? I'm going to give it that. But for me, it was when they broke up the fight and both of the girls, Diamond and Natalie, backstage, it flipped to backstage. And so Natalie walks up on Diamond, and Diamond's like, what we doing? We fighting? What we doing? And Natalie said, no. But she was like, why did you hit me like that? Why did you do that? Why did you sneak me? Or whatever. And so Diamond claims it was because of some shit that she was talking online, saying that it was fake. Now, apparently, Diamond is upset about a comment that Natalie made about her friend or whatever, whoop de whoop. But I think it's stupid, because if y'all gonna go backstage and y'all had dialogue about the situation, why the fuck you couldn't just do that on stage? You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't have to turn into that. You could have talked about it and got your shit off your chest while you was already on stage. You feel me? Why did you have to slap the shit out of Natalie? Like, Natalie don't say worse shit than that. She don't did worse shit than that. So for that to be the reason why Diamond hit her, I just feel like that's bullshit. I feel like, Diamond, you wanted a moment, you wanted a clout chase, and you felt like this was the moment to kind of stand out apart from the other baddies and do something that nobody else had thought about doing, which was sneaking Natalie. Like, don't get me wrong, E.T. did sneak Natalie, but Natalie somewhat already knew what time it was with E.T. She already knew what was smoking the air with E.T. Now, don't get me wrong, she was surprised for the sneak, but when it comes to E.T., I feel like she shouldn't have been surprised, because E.T., Rolly, Natalie and Rolly had been hanging too motherfucking good when that whole situation with E.T. went down. So I think that when it came to E.T., Natalie should have been prepared because of how things went down with them. But as far as Diamond, I feel like, damn, Diamond, you was literally backstage, you know, drinking and hanging out with them. Why do that? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And aside from it being funny, it was weird. It was weird. You know what I'm saying? It was weird behavior. It was clout chasing behavior.
Ooh, shitty booty special. Your loose booty ass is out of order.
I didn't like it. It just came off corny to me. Now, it may be, like I said, it's an unpopular opinion. Y'all probably disagree. I probably felt like Natalie deserved that, but I just feel like that she could have at least asked Natalie to stand up for a fade. Like, I would have walked up on Natalie and told Natalie, give me that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of slapping her, if you really wanted to fight her, you should have just called her out instead of just giving her a hug like that and and then to me that was just, I don't know, I ain't like it. So anyway, let's get back to J-Lo real quick, because when Natalie and J-Lo was fighting, apparently J-Lo was supposed to come out next, but she saw that it was commotion, and when she looked out and saw that it was Natalie out there fighting, she ran out there and she was talking shit to the security. She was like, why y'all standing there? Why y'all standing there? Like, you know what I'm saying? She was trying to get Dominance, right? Now, as far as J-Lo concerned, I'm wondering in my head, do J-Lo know, did J-Lo see that scene where Rolly and Natalie was talking about her ass in that car? Because the way she ran out there like a real friend, my dog. A real friend. She ran out there like she was a real friend, and I've never seen Natalie have her back like that. Like, that bitch was jumped this season and all. So, yeah, J-Lo, you a rider for your friend, but you stupid too, because your friend ain't come riding for your ass not one time. Matter of fact, she even put your ass on spot this season and told you needed to step your motherfucking game up, bitch. So I feel like Natalie ain't making no exceptions for you. Why the fuck is you making exceptions for her? That's all I'm saying. So anyway, let's move on. So meanwhile, back on stage, Saucy Santana and Scotty and, you know, the rest of the people that's on the stage, they pretty much talking about like what happened or whatever with the whoop. And Scotty was saying that she's confused as to why DTV did that, because basically they had all been in the back drinking and hanging out and talking, and she said that Natalie asked DTV, did she have an issue? And DTV made it seem like she didn't have an issue with Natalie or whatever with the whoop. And so Bobby asked one of the crowd members, like, why do they think DTV hit Natalie or whatever? And so the girl started to speak her piece. One of the girls from the cast, from the crowd, started to speak her piece about how she felt about the situation or whatever, whoop de whoop. And then they ended up bringing out J-Lo. Okay, so then the scene flashes back to the backstage with Natalie and DTV. So Natalie at this point was telling DTV, bitch, you're fired. And she was telling the producers to remove DTV from the set, etc., etc. And so I don't know which one of the girls said something to Natalie, but Natalie went to arguing with them, telling them that they not for to try her, they not for to be putting their hands on her, and etc., etc., right? And so as she's going off, the thing that caught my eye was that security guard standing behind Biggie holding her waist. And I was thinking to myself, like, did anybody peep that? Like, did anybody peep that? Like, why the fuck was that security guard standing behind Biggie like that holding her waist? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know if he was a security guard or not. But the way he was grabbing on Biggie, that was giving, that's her man's. Okay? I got my eyes on you, Biggie. Okay, I see you, Biggie. So, anywho, we get back to the stage. Okay, mind you, Jayla, they had brought out Jayla. Jayla looks really good, by the way, too. I love the outfit. I love the hair. She just looks like a doll. Okay, so anywho, they bring out Rolly, and as Rolly's walking out, she's getting kind of a mixed reaction from the crowd. Some people are cheering, some people are booing. And you see J-Lo wrapping her hair up. So the crowd members start cheering, telling someone, wrap that shit up, J-Lo. Beat that bitch ass. Beat that bitch ass. So Rolly's like, what did I do? And I really like Rolly's attitude. You know what I'm saying? She's coming out. She's not on no rah-rah or whatever. She's basically like, you know, we'll talk about it or whatever. Because Tiki, like, what's going on with y'all? So Rolly was like, we'll talk about it. And so they pretty much get into the gist of the beef between Rolly and Jayla. So Jayla tells Rolly that she just felt disrespected because Rolly was mad at her because she felt like she laughed at her when Tommy pulled out the BB gun and all of that whole situation. But they flashed did a flashback of the scene, and you can see that Jayla flipped over the chair with Natalie or whatever, whoop de whoop. So it's like she didn't laugh, she didn't, you know what I'm saying? And so Rolly's whole issue was she felt like and it partially was because of Natalie that the situation got escalated, because Jayla texted Natalie something and Natalie showed the text to Rolly. Now this is where now this is where it gets messy because Natalie, first of all, if both of your friends, or if your friends say something about the other friend, y'all keep it amongst each other. Like I mean, me personally, like let's say one of my friends say something slick or sideways about another friend. I'm not gonna go carry that bone, or I'm not gonna go show that friend, that other friend, the text messages, because you know what's gonna happen. Both of these friends of mine is gonna go at each other, and then that's gonna leave me stuck in the fucking middle, right? And that's the type of shit that Natalie do. She will literally throw a rock and hide her hand, which is probably one of the reasons why DTB popped her ass. Even though I don't agree with how she did it, Natalie do need to be popped by some motherfucking body, okay? So anywho, they pretty much talk it out, hash it out, they get up and hug it out. And I'm really glad because I don't like the idea of Rolly and Jayla fighting. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know they're not the best of friends, but I don't think that they should be enemies either. Like, I like both girls. So to see both of them, like, going at each other like that, I don't like it. So I'm really glad that they hugged it out and got past the situation. It really wasn't that deep. So anyway, they started getting into the whole Scotty situation. And like I told y'all before, I'm kind of split 50-50 with Scotty and Rolly, because I understand Scotty's perspective, but I also understand Rolly's perspective. But it seemed like Janisha really wanted Rolly to get Scotty, okay? Because they went to playing that fucking they put up the post that Scotty made on the screen and everything, and Scotty tried to talk around it, but at the same time you said what you said, you know, and you did essentially throw Rolly under the bus, because it was a bad time for you to come out and try to clear your name when your friend is being thrown under the bus for the whole situation. Like, I get it, you wanted to, you know, kind of protect your image a little bit when it came to your fans and things like that, but at the end of the day, if you already see that your friend is getting backlash the way that Rolly was getting backlash, and you know you was down for it when it happened, she shouldn't have. If you ask me, she was wrong. She was wrong for even speaking on the situation. I would have just let it die down, because you know they hate you one day on the internet and love you the next. So I would have just let that situation die down. I don't think it was necessary for Scotty to even come out and say anything about it. It is what it is, especially since she wasn't supposed to be in the scene. So yeah, it did come off like you threw your friend under the bus. All right. But I'm still kind of 50-50, because I understand Scotty's need to, like, you know, she didn't agree with the bullying, and it is what it is. Like, she regretted doing what she did, and she was basically trying to own up to her part in what she did. So anywho, Natalie comes back on the stage, and she starts explaining the whole situation between DTB. She starts explaining the whole situation. I'm sorry, y'all. My phone keep blowing up. So she explains the whole situation with DTB and everything like that, such as, and then they bring out Biggie. So when they bring out Biggie doing her little, you know, her big one, she running around. The crowd seems very receptive of Biggie or whatever. Janisha looks over and notices that Rolly starts tearing up. And so she brings attention to Rolly. She's like, you know, I noticed you over here. You know, you started crying a little bit. What's going on with you, Rolly? What's going on with you, Rolly? And Rolly just was, I don't fucking know. She never really state what was going on. But I think that, like, I don't honestly know what the fuck I think. Let me shut up. Rolly was just getting fucking emotional, okay? But at the end of the day, she didn't come out there on no beast mode type vibe. So I just think that she was just getting sentimental with all of the back and forth, and, you know, her having to fight with girls that she really care about in real life and blah, blah, blah. So that's that. So anywho, the next girl that they call out is on the mat, okay? Oh, let me get back to Rolly real quick before we get to on the mat. So it was one part where Rolly was talking about certain girls, how she connects with them, and then she was saying how Tasiki's the only girl who's ever been to her house. And so Scotty says, well, Rolly, I have your address. What do you mean, Rolly? I have your address. And so Rolly was like, well, Scotty, what? It doesn't matter that you have my address. Nobody's scared of you, Scotty. And then she was like, so what? She was like, what you gonna do? Bring Capri to my house? Like, you gonna send Capri to my house? Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, that shit was funny as fuck. So anyway, on the mat comes out. Now I don't know why, but the crowd reacted a lot differently to Anna than they did to Biggie. It seemed like they was more so happy to see Biggie, but when they see Anna, they started booing her, which was crazy. Some people were booing her, some people was cheering, whatever, woo. And if you ask me, it should have been the other way around, like for real, like for real. Okay, but anywho, Anna comes out and her outfit, I'm not gonna lie, like I like this outfit a lot better than the other outfit that she had on. She was kind of giving school teacher vibes or whatever, but I like this one a lot better than her intro outfit. And then they bring out Tinka. So when they bring out Tinka's of course pregnant. She got the little belly. She says she's 4 months, but the bitch look like she about 6 months. Okay, and not only that, I just find it strange how nobody mentioned the fact, like, bitch, you had to be pregnant the whole season, like you knew you was pregnant, like for real, and you up there trying to fight fucking Akbar, and as it turns out, both of y'all hoes pregnant. So it's just like, and nobody caught this, or at least the people on the stage didn't catch this, but she was like, oh, y'all did all of this for me, the pink, talking about the decor. So I'm assuming that Tinka Bella knows that she's having a girl. Okay, she says she's 4 months. She did say she was having a girl. She did say that. Okay, well, whatever. Anywho, after Tinka comes out and sit down, Sassy was like, well, nobody can't put hands. I said no injury reserve, but nobody better not touch Tinka, and they would be stupid to touch her. She's fucking pregnant. So, anywho, they bring back out DTB. You see the look on Natalie's face. Natalie was like, oh, Lord. So they bring out DTB, and as soon as they bring her out, Rolly stands up, and Rolly calls for the fade, right? So Rolly was like, come on. Since you want to bully Natalie, come on. And so her and Rolly take off and start fighting. And I'm not going to lie, it look like Rolly meat the shit out of her ass. Y'all sleeping on this new Rolly, okay? Rolly done lost some of that motherfucking weight. She's moving faster, got a longer stamina. Y'all sleeping on fucking Rolly. So Rolly gets up and starts the fight with DTB, and that's where the episode ends. Okay, so we have seen so far this first part of the Baddies reunion. We got to see the fight with Emma versus Dolly and Summer. We got to see Mel get ran away like a fucking punk. We got to see DTB sneak the fuck out of Natalie. It's not funny. We got to see a little squabble between DTB and Natalie, and then we got to see this fight with Rolly and DTB. So we got to see a handful of things now. They let us see some shit before they cut the episode off, okay? So I'm definitely feeling this first part of the reunion, and I for damn sure look forward to the next part of the reunion because it looked like it's gonna go up, okay? They have yet to bring out the Rat Pack. I don't know if Tommy's coming to the reunion, but they haven't brought out Summer, Dolly, and Lex. They haven't brought Elmo, Yoshi to the stage yet. Who else is missing from the cast? Oh yeah, Ivory, Pretty P, and all of them. So they haven't brought them out yet. All right. So there is a lot more to come as far as this reunion. But y'all, I definitely give it up though. They definitely did a better job at putting together this first half of the reunion. I'm so happy to have seen it. And with that being said, y'all stay tuned for part 2. My part 2 recap, okay? With that being said, I love you guys. Deuces.